Fish come in a variety of shapes and sizes, but have you ever imagined one that's 9 feet long or weighs over 600 pounds? While such giants exist, catching them is no easy feat, often leading to intense battles between fishermen and the formidable forces of the deep sea. However, the teams on the reality TV show Wicked Tuna are up for the challenge, displaying resilience in their pursuit. Curious about the largest fish ever caught on Wicked Tuna? Join us as we explore these massive catches that will make your jaw drop. The crew just caught a 9-foot monster tuna. The hot tuna crew is out at sea, ready to fish close to the ocean's edge on a clear day, in a timed race of time with the ship next to them. With only one catch since the season began, the ship's captain, TJ Ott, is concerned that traveling 600 miles to Gloucester will not be worthwhile. This led to the decision to fish closer to the coast this time. A deckhand quickly rushed to where the fishing line appeared to have caught something. To begin reeling in the catch, the captain advised pulling the rod. The captain motioned to another deckhand named Bobby to take over the reeling. Bobby was reminded that the water was shallow, so he should let the fish go if it wanted to. Bobby appears exhausted, so he asked the other deckhand to help. They discovered what they had grabbed was large, as the other deckhand looked on. As the fish was ready to be brought onto the boat, the captain threw in a spear to help grab hold of it. TJ Ott caught the fish by hitting its side and hooking its tail. TJ Ott thanked every crew member as they celebrated their victory and loaded the fish into the boat. After landing, they proceeded to testing and weighing. The fish, weighing 9 feet in length and 623 pounds, will be auctioned for $15 per pound following testing. The hot crew catch was awesome, but other notable catches are amazing. Here are some. The mighty lobster. Imagine a really big lobster that weighs 27 pounds. It's already hard to understand without thinking about how difficult it would be for the fishermen who catch it to pick it up. But that's just a normal day for a fisherman dealing with huge sea animals, hoping they won't get hurt. This lobster is the biggest one ever caught in Maine, measuring about 40 inches and weighing as much as a 3-year-old child. Experts say it could seriously hurt someone because its claws are super strong and could easily break an arm. The captain had asked for help from the Marine Patrol to handle this special catch, and the fishermen found it funny to call the lobster Rocky because of its dangerous right claw. While setting a record with such a huge lobster is amazing, it's not good to risk becoming hurt, so the fishermen decided to let it go back into the wild to avoid any injuries and also being sued. We don't often see a big crab, but this crab shocks even the fishermen. The colossal crab. Crab fishing in Alaska is the most dangerous job in the United States. Experts who study, work, and have jobs say that more people die doing this job than any other. To give you an idea, for every 100,000 people working in this industry, over 300 lose their lives. Many others get seriously hurt by big machines, but the most common reasons that people die are drowning and freezing in the cold. These are very real dangers that the brave men and women who choose this well-paying job have to face. Their lives are all about crab fishing, and they hope to have a special moment like this, one that was done in the spring of 1980. During that time, a group of fishermen from Alaska had a remarkable adventure during their expedition. They stumbled upon an extraordinary sight, a solitary crab of gigantic proportions. This magnificent crustacean weighed over 33 pounds, making it an astonishing discovery. People were astounded by the colossal creature, speculating that it may well have sustained a large family for an entire week, or perhaps even longer. As much as this discovery might shock the fishermen, this next one is even bigger, the incredibly huge Humboldt squid. The squid is a cool creature. It grows fast, but it only lives for about a year, and during that year it gets to its biggest size, has a lot of babies, and then dies. It's kind of like the human experience, but way shorter. In 2009, a couple went to Washington to catch some salmon, but something unexpected occurred when they were out on the water. Their fishing line got stuck on something much larger than they expected and much bigger than any normal salmon. When they pulled it in, they saw strangely long arms, a squishy body, and a completely different animal. It was a huge Humboldt squid. Just imagine how excited and surprised they must have been. They probably thought they would catch some salmon and have a regular day out fishing, but nature can be surprising sometimes, and catching one of the biggest squids is incredibly lucky. A big squid is rare, but this swordfish, weighing around hundreds of pounds, is one of a kind. The 757-pound swordfish. A couple named Bill and Debbie were looking forward to going fishing near the Florida Keys, but bad weather had ruined their plans. Disappointed but unaffected, they decided to wait patiently for a better day. When they finally set out on their much-anticipated fishing trip, they were shocked by what they found, which proved that their dedication had paid off. The couple's achievement in bringing in a gigantic swordfish surpassed their wildest dreams. This incredible catch broke the long-standing record set by Stephen Stanford in 1978, when he caught a massive swordfish near Key Largo, Florida, weighing an incredible 757 pounds. The catch left everyone in awe of the incredible feat, making their trip unforgettable. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission estimates that someone might take an additional 40 years to break the current record and surpass this latest milestone. One massive specimen weighing an incredible 1,182 pounds caught the title of largest swordfish ever internationally. It took place in Chile. This next yellowfin tuna weighs 445 pounds. The largest yellowfin tuna caught on a fishing rod. Everyone in the underwater community agrees that tuna is incredibly popular. When people see this fish, they become excited from all over the world. For those who love fishing, catching a tuna is similar to finding and eating a treasure. It feels like a unique treat. To his amazement, John Petruscu, a fisherman, embarked on a particularly special fishing expedition to catch something incredible. Little did he know that he would ultimately land the largest yellowfin tuna captured with a fishing rod. The fish weighed an amazing 445 pounds when he eventually succeeded in bringing it in, more than 17 pounds more than the previous record holder. Even though it was an amazing accomplishment, it was never formally recognized as a world record. It was disqualified because a crew member held the fishing rod to help John handle the fish. The fish is one of just 4 instances where fishermen caught yellowfin tuna weighing more than 400 pounds, making it a fantastic accomplishment. However, regulations and attorneys can sometimes spoil excellent things. The yellowfin tuna was a huge catch, but this next discovery was even bigger. The Zambezi shark. Bull sharks attack humans the most frequently, despite the fact that many people are afraid of great white sharks and other seemingly threatening sharks. These frightening animals can swim great distances and are frequently seen in warm waters. They can be found in rivers, the ocean, and even where rivers meet the sea. Because bull sharks frequently visit the Zambezi River in search of food, they are also known as Zambezi sharks. In 2009, scientists measured the largest bull shark ever captured while surveying the Breed estuary. The scientific team tagged a huge female shark, which measured 4 meters in length, let her free, and observed her behavior for a few days. What they discovered was frightening. The shark ventured out to sea for a while, but mostly hung around to observe boats on the river and fishermen on the beach. She appeared to be examining them as possible food. While this bull shark remained scary and huge, this next catch was even more weird. It is rumored to be a living dinosaur and weighs about 500 pounds. The dinosaur fish. A large live creature measuring around 10.5 feet in length was just caught by fishermen. It could be overkill, but several people remarked it resembled a living dinosaur. Though it's said to be only a century old, this massive fish is stunning and huge. Hence, it isn't actually from the period when dinosaurs existed and had extraordinarily advanced ages. Indeed, people frequently overstate how exciting things are, but it's also accurate to say that the fish is huge and old. The fish, which measured 11.5 feet in length and 500 to 600 pounds, was discovered to be a massive sturgeon that a guy in British Columbia, Canada, had captured. The fish's unexpected size gave everyone a better idea of how ancient it was. Catching this fish is truly unique and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for those who enjoy fishing. However, it's possible that the pollution in the water contributed to its size, but it's certainly something you'd read about in a comic book, even though the fisherman's exact expectations weren't met. This discovery was shocking, but wait until the next discovery. A giant whiptail that measures up to 14 feet long. A gigantic whiptail. It's well known that scientists feel thrilled about shattering world records regardless of their line of work. They frequently have a great desire to do things better than they did the last time, and occasionally they succeed. In 2015, researchers studying Thailand's Mekong River made a remarkable finding. The giant stingray they discovered may be the biggest freshwater fish ever observed. Naturally, many people, particularly those fishing for a living, would disagree with all those world records. But let's look at the evidence. The fish was enormous, with dimensions of 7.9 feet in width and 14 feet in length. Its estimated weight was between 700 and 800 pounds. It is difficult to dispute the fish's enormous size. Scientists measured and identified it by carefully obtaining minuscule amounts of its genes. It was so large that specialists who assisted in its recovery gave it the amusing moniker, the Big One. The ray was released after being captured in roughly 65 feet of water. Scientists are aware that harming defenseless animals is not necessary. They might not be the best at coming up with creative names, but they sure know how to care for animals and set some world records. The next discovery is a world record pike weighing up to 25 kilograms. The world record pike. Regarding pike, fishermen in Bulgaria are smashing records left and right. A passionate fisherman from Bulgaria named Peter Filipov had previously caught some quite large fish, but this time he caught one that exceeded all of his prior records. It was so large that it easily surpassed the current world record. Using a fishing pole, the huge pike, which weighed an astonishing 25.3 kilos and measured 140 centimeters, would be pulled in. The incredible Bulgarian angler said he fished in uncharted territory and employed big lures. It was his first attempt. He was especially fond of fishing in large holes, and in the end, he got this big pike in a lake that had experienced some major changes. He observed that there were no longer any small fish, indicating that he would ultimately be right, and that a large fish was there someplace, eating everything in sight. He successfully caught a huge pike in that lake on that particular day. This next discovery is a giant king salmon weighing more than an average child. The monster king salmon. According to statistics, the average weight of a person worldwide is between 130 and 180 pounds. However, this data is interesting because the world record for the largest catch is held by a fish known as the king salmon, which weighs 97 pounds, a weight larger than that of most children. Les Anderson, a man from Alaska, caught this fish in 1985. It weighs more than some humans. Les Anderson was fishing in the Kenai River when he caught the massive fish, which is highly prized and regarded as a unique capture in Alaskan waters. At the time, the Kenai River was well known for its giant king salmon, although it was more well known for its smaller fish. This particular fish, however, was exceptionally massive, measuring 5 feet in length. Les undoubtedly caught a bigger fish, but it had to be weighed on a truck, and since it was going to be a hot day in Alaska, the fish had to spend 7 hours in the heat of the day. Can you imagine how challenging it must have been? Fish of this quality are extremely uncommon, and it's rather amazing to catch one that probably weighs more than most children. That's when nature reveals how uncontrollably powerful it is. This giant king salmon is a very large and rare fish. This hammerhead found by some fishermen in Florida made them the talk of the town. The 13-foot-long hammerhead monster. These Florida fishermen rose to fame on TV news a few years ago. They were fishing close to Florida's Sanibel Island when they had this amazing adventure. The 13-foot hammerhead shark that the fortunate men had captured. Since stingrays are a favorite meal of hammerhead sharks, the fishermen utilized them as bait. They never imagined they would catch a shark this big, but they had hoped to catch something large. They were shocked to learn what they had caught and were in disbelief at their good fortune. The crew had to fight the large shark for over half an hour to get it nearer the shoreline, since the hammerhead had grabbed the fishing line approximately 200 yards from the coast. They wanted to snap some photos and closely examine the amazing catch. After taking some amazing pictures, they let the shark return to the water to preserve the moment. They were astounded by the shark's strength and relished their unique up-close encounter with the stunning animal. Though it's safe to assume that the shark preferred the ocean to the dry land, it didn't seem overly thrilled about the unplanned excursion to the beach. This next discovery is a 50-year-old Warsaw weighing about 350 pounds. The 50-year-old Warsaw grouper. Determining how old a fish is can be difficult. It could not be easily explained in a few seconds, but some experts can do it, and they're probably right. Back in 2020, a big Warsaw grouper weighing 350 pounds would be caught off the coast of southwest Florida using a hook and line. Scientists who then went on to study the fish would say that it was around 50 years old. Now, that doesn't mean that the grouper was going through a midlife crisis, but it does mean that it was the oldest fish that they had found for their aging program. Unsurprisingly, a 50-year-old 350-pound fish would make the news, because if you look at an average day's news, you'll see something or someone of the same age and weight on the front page. This next discovery holds the record for the biggest paddlefish at 164 pounds. World record paddlefish. In Oklahoma, a big paddlefish that weighed 164 pounds would be caught. It was so huge that it broke the state and world records for this kind of fish. The fortunate person who caught it was Grant Rader from Wichita, Kansas. He was excited to catch the huge paddlefish and get a place in the record books. Paddlefish are very old fish because they have mostly stayed the same since first appearing in fossil records 120 to 125 million years ago, during the time of early crustaceans. But even though they've been around for such a long time, these fish have faced problems. So it's not surprising, because people catching too many of them and destroying their habitats are putting their survival at risk. While tiger sharks remain dangerous and scary, this world record tiger shark is the largest, measuring over 5 meters long and about 1,300 pounds. The monster tiger shark. The tiger shark is usually the one who hunts, but sometimes people do accidentally catch really big tiger sharks. People might also go after them to get trophies or because they want revenge. Tiger sharks are some of the most dangerous and scary sharks. In the world, they rank right up there with the great whites. In Australia, sharks are known to attack surfers often, and these creatures are almost endangered because people have been hunting them down for trophies and fishing them in abundance. In recent years, the biggest tiger sharks ever caught were measured at 5 meters long. There are some crazy stories about them, like the one about a fisherman named Matthew who had supposedly caught a huge tiger shark off the coast of Byron Bay in Australia in 2015. The story became popular on the internet. He said that he had caught the big shark as it had eaten a smaller hammerhead shark while trying to catch it, no matter the story. It is a good one, and it is a very large shark. Tuna may seem like a common catch, but this bluefin tuna is very rare, weighing up to 612 pounds. The rare bluefin tuna that sold for millions. How much would you pay for tuna from a Tokyo fish market? A Japanese restaurant owner has paid a record $3.1 million for a single Pacific bluefin tuna. At the famous Tokyo fish market, there was an auction for a special type of tuna called the Pacific bluefin. This was not just any ordinary old fish. It was a unique tuna, and in 2019, before sunrise, a big bluefin weighing 612 pounds would be put up for bidding, causing fierce competition amongst the top players in Tokyo's fish industry. It may sound like a joke or some cheesy movie, but it did happen in the end. The owner of a chain of popular sushi restaurants ended up paying an imaginable amount of money to win and own this valuable yet endangered fish. Now, let's face the truth. Japan loves fish and tuna and eats more than any other country. Unfortunately, this high demand has led to too much fishing, and the bluefin tuna is at risk of disappearing. but there are other options than buying one huge fish. I doubt a sushi mogul would even be interested in dealing with the issue. This is another way to show off their wealth and claim a prestigious prize. Although bluefin tuna is a very rare species, this striped bass seems almost impossible to come across. The 60-pound rockfish. For many families, nothing is more important than going on a nice trip out on the water to catch something. What you catch exactly is a whole different story, but it's enjoyable to sit on the water and struggle with a fish, even if you end up throwing it back. The Smedley family has been fishing in the same bay for many years. They've been successful in catching numerous fish weighing over 40 and 50 pounds. However, the elusive 60-pounders have always managed to escape being caught, but their youngest son decided to try fishing. He was the first in the family to catch a 60-pound fish, striped bass, and a big one. That's not bad for a first catch, you have to admit. Fishing can be challenging even under the best of circumstances, but it's always heartwarming to hear about families working together to catch some of the world's largest fish. Perhaps next time, the kid may aim for one of those 1,500-pounders and kick it into high gear. This next catch is an alligator gar measuring around 92 inches long, making it the longest ever. The longest alligator gar. This particular fish is extremely long and thin and is one of the largest freshwater fish in North America. Surprisingly, it's gained popularity among fishermen who share their adventures on YouTube. Recently, a group of these fishermen embarked on a trip to find the elusive alligator gar. To their astonishment, the skilled and experienced fishermen caught the most enormous alligator gar they'd ever seen. Let me assure you, every single one of them is highly knowledgeable and professional in fishing. The incredible fish they captured weighed a staggering 230 pounds and measured 92 inches in length. It is a truly extraordinary occurrence for alligator gars. Do you know how rare it can be to see a mahi-mahi fish weighing 50 pounds? It is more common than this 72-pound catch. The record-breaking mahi-mahi ever caught. Jeff enjoyed fishing and was on the ocean near Ocean City, Maryland. He had a strong desire to catch a fish that would give him a real challenge. He quickly realized that this was not an ordinary catch because he struggled with his fishing line, and it turned out to be an incredibly large fish known as the mahi-mahi. After a long and intense struggle, he finally managed to bring it in, and the fish weighed an astonishing 72.8 pounds. This would break the record for the heaviest mahi-mahi ever caught in Maryland. And what's even more incredible is that Jeff was only practicing for a marlin competition. He was completely surprised by this unexpected accomplishment. Although the mahi-mahi might have broken the record, this next catch almost sank the boat. The Goliath grouper. A crew of fishermen set out into Florida's waters to capture and release a massive Goliath grouper. Although the reasons for their desire to do so are unknown, alcohol may have played a role. They looked for a giant grouper, and sure enough, they found one since they knew their boat weighed 550 pounds. Though it appears quite bizarre, the strange-looking behemoth is estimated to weigh between 600 and 800 pounds, making it even heavier than the boat. The Goliath grouper may appear as though it were created in a high-end Hollywood studio, but it's real, and the fishermen were rather thrilled to discover one that might topple even their boats. What are your thoughts on this catch? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to get more interesting videos like this one.